What's going on, everybody? So today I sort of just wanted to talk about how I've been building up my EX jobs. I haven't really necessarily seen a guide of how people have been doing it, and I don't really want to necessarily call this a guide or anything. I just want to talk about how I've sort of been working on my EX units. Mostly Titus here, but I've also been working on a few others. If we just kind of go here to the all screen, you can see everyone that has been taken to EX jobs basically. Um, this isn't necessarily everyone. There was one other one I did, which was Liart. I just don't have enough JP to actually raise her any higher, so I just have her there for the time being. So, sort of kind of what I wanted to talk about was that it takes a lot of effort to get someone up through their EX job, uh, even just to like level 102, I guess. I guess it starts with 100, but level 102, 105, 107, I don't necessarily remember all the levels, but it kind of takes a while for you to level up. And basically, if we're going by job level, it's job level 15, job level 19, I believe, 22, and then 25. So, how exactly have I been gathering my resources? I kind of saw some people with a high amount of resources, and I kind of just wondered, like maybe they've been saying for a while, maybe they've just been grinding on multi. What exactly have they been doing? And sort of, I'm just gonna talk about how I arrived at the amount that I have. I have been able to get Titus here to 115 as the cap, with some more resources to get a little bit higher. I'm gonna go for Titus before I do Yuna. And here's Yuna. She is essentially capable of 115, but I guess I didn't have enough JP to bring her higher. Here's Mont, another same thing as Yuna. He could be a 115. And here is Phoebe with a cap of 115. So basically, I just want to talk about how I got there. As you can see, 50 red materials is kind of a lot. And that's just for one level. 50 Alcherists and 50 of those equipment, like the staff spindle, I think they're called. I'll just call them that, and the little stone tablet thing. So that takes a lot of work, and it's taken me a lot of work. And basically, what I've been doing for the entire week was that whatever day it was, I would just take advantage of whichever elements of those. So if we go here into the far plane, if we go into the daily missions, and this is a little bit of a pro tip, the order that they're in here is the order that they're going to get boosted during the week. So it's going to be fire and wind are going to be the first day, and then the next two are the next day. And that's going to be starting on Tuesday, because Monday is the Monday missions, and we get double the top stuff here, the materials. And in terms of Alchemist stuff, that starts on Tuesday, and it goes for 4 days, and it's going from the top every two. So that's how you can figure it out if without having to look it up. You can just look at this. So basically, I don't have a fire yet. I'm gonna do Seymour and I'm gonna do Mont, but I started on the fire day and I basically have all my potions saved up. What I did was I went into Alchemist Chamber number 5, and then I basically just skipped. I threw a potion in, like maybe 2 potions, and I just skipped all that just to see kind of how many materials I would get. It's not that many, but it kind of helps you gauge how many potions you need to use. There were some days where I used 20 potions. There were some days that I used all my potions. And basically, I went through a crap ton of potions. Luckily, I've sort of been saving up potions. So I probably went from like 600 large potions down. I used a few XL potions, and I even used some small potions here and there just to kind of round out a day or something. So to continue with that, what I found that if you go into chamber 6, you do get those new. I like to think of them as like candlesticks almost. It looks like a candlestick dish, and then like the element is on top of that. Call it whatever you want, but that's kind of how I see it. So if you go into this, you do get those, and you also get the blossoms. So the blossoms just refresh, and that's why I have 0. But coming into here, you get a little bit less of the Alchemist. So what I ended up doing was I came here for a little bit, and then I think the Alchemists are kind of more helpful at first. So I kind of just went to chamber 5, or level 5, I should say, and I was grinding from there. So basically, you're going to eventually need both, but the issue is you're going to need to actually get all your jobs to level 15. So it's actually, I think, a little bit better to spend most of your energy here in level 5 and just kind of gather as many as you can. You're going to need, I think it's 210 to get from level 12 to 15 on all 3 jobs, of all 3 of your sub jobs. So from there, then you're going to need all the different materials. You're going to need the high difficulty chamber orbs here. So basically, it's kind of the same idea. If you think of the high difficulty red as the level 5, you use that one just to get the orbs. And then once you have a lot of those orbs, once you get to like 15, then you can start getting the tablets. This is kind of what worked for me. And I would go in here. This is what I've been doing today. I came in here, I used the potion, I used my skip tickets. Luckily, you don't spend as many skip tickets because the energy requirement is so high. And aside from that, I basically, during the week, whenever I was kind of happy with the amount that I got for the Alchemist, I would then go into multi. Either I would go by myself, like I would host the room is what I mean. I would probably wait for somebody. Or I would just go into recruiting list here and just kind of scroll through. You kind of have to do this quickly because they tend to disappear. But here is the brutal red. So I would just kind of, in my mind, I would focus on seeing the word red first. And then I would check if it's brutal or high difficulty. And that way, that can help you decide. That helped me decide, like, do I want to do the high difficulty and get the orbs, the memories? Or do I want to do the brutal difficulty and get the little tablets? So that's basically what I did throughout the week. Maybe I ran like maybe 10 or so of those, or maybe it depended. If I was close with someone, I would just run them. But I was really waiting for today, Saturday, to kind of go really ridiculous and get as many as I can, because double, even if I went into multi today, which I did for a little bit, I would be getting double. So that was very helpful for me. I'm sort of thinking of what else I wanted to say here. But if we can go back to the units screen and just go up to Titus. The other thing that I don't see any websites really have the requirements per level. I know some people listed out the full requirements, which is like 300 of each. So I would try to get like 100. Like if you're moving between, job 22 and 25 or 19 and 22, I would try to get like 150 or so, something like that. I believe between 22 and 25, it's about 175 total. And it's kind of hard to like remember that and think of that because it just feels like you're not spending as much as you are, but you're actually spending a lot. So something that I kind of just kept in mind the whole time. And then kind of the other thing I wanted to mention was that I have felt like a meta shift, and that's kind of why I really started working on this. Obviously, when they opened the floodgates of EX jobs, everybody picked their units they wanted to EX. They picked Titus and Yuna and whoever else, and Gilgamesh and etc. And people just kind of rushed it to 120. I wasn't really trying to rush, but like that first 2 weeks or 3 weeks, however long it's been, of Arena felt kind of hard to compete in, but now it seems to be kind of leveling out. And then also the class match felt kind of hard to compete in, but then again, I was kind of doing auto. Auto got me pretty far last time on class match, because now you can change it so you could only face the auto people. So that was actually very helpful. But this past week, I didn't really have that great of an experience playing class match. First of all, the AI was kind of broken, and second of all, like, part of me just didn't want to do it. So now I'm kind of just thinking, like, even here with the R level characters, Liart is definitely getting some good skills, and don't count on me for that, guys. In terms of stats and skills, I haven't necessarily researched it, but I have seen some people using, and you guys can check out Mysteria Gaming for sure. I'm sure you guys know him, but definitely saw him using Liart, and Liart is definitely really good. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you don't necessarily have any units ready for EXing, like let's say you're free to play, and yes, you did get Titus, but you weren't really able to invest that much into him, you can take a lower rarity unit into EX. So as an example, we have here Liart, and another example would be Zazan or Phoebe. So you probably already have them maxed, and you probably already have some of their mind spheres, like let's say 100 of their mind spheres. So maybe find out for your account who you like, first of all, and who you have resources for, and maybe consider bringing them above level 100. And let me actually just go to Phoebe, because my Liart is not even at 100, so what am I even saying? So if I go here to Phoebe, she's actually, unlocked to 115. And if we go into her abilities tree here, you can see that I've kind of have been making my way up. I got the quicken enhancement, so that gives her longer range, and I got a bunch of stat ups. So as you can see, by the time I get to level 25 here, I will get this, and I believe this one is upgradable. I could be wrong, because the other ones say magic +7 or magic +7 or luck +6. So this one just says magic up, and if we go here to the damage limit up, that allows you to use JP to just boost that up. JP and these statue things, I guess. So that's where your statues are going to come into play. I mean, they're going to come into play along the way, but I think that's probably going to be your biggest use for them. But once we get here to magic up, and we're able to enhance that one up further and further, that's going to give Phoebe an insane amount of magic. And it's not super insane, but I believe it's pretty close to Medina, if not at Medina's level, at level 99. So you're essentially making Phoebe a viable magic user on the UR level. So I think it's definitely worth raising your lower rarity characters right now if you don't have any other units that can EX that are higher rarity. So I think that's good for the meta in terms of being able to sort of keep up with all these people that are kind of just rush their, they get their Gilgamesh and other UR units, Stern, King Rob, and they basically rush them to 120, even including the FF10 and the Nier characters. They basically rush them to 120, and then you're going to feel like you're behind, and then you're going to start spending and blah, blah, blah. So I think it's probably better to just start looking at these units and seeing who you like, first of all, and who do you think is viable to get them to a higher level. And don't listen to people saying that it's not worth using up your resources. Of course, you want to try to save onto your blossoms, those little flower things, for the future UR units that you do want to raise. But even if we look at Mon here, Mont is a unit we all have. They basically gave us all his mind stones for free, and you can buy his shards. If you didn't get that, you can buy his shards, or you can generally just get his shards pretty easily. So I think it's definitely worth it. He's an MR. He can go to 120, and he gets a throwstone enhancement, so you can make throwstone a little bit better. I definitely think that he's actually still a pretty good tank, like UR level tank once you get him above 100. He definitely doesn't have any hate abilities, but he is definitely a really good unit here, and I think it's definitely worth bringing him up over level 100 if you are able to do that with your resources, which you should be able to do that. The only really limited resource are the broadstones and the blossoms of paradise, I believe they're called. So I think that's definitely worth doing there. I really think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I just kind of wanted to have a casual sort of talk about that. But if you're feeling yourself like you're overwhelmed, like I was kind of feeling a few weeks back, I think these are good units to sort of allow you to kind of keep up with the meta, and not only the meta, but they are definitely going to be useful for PvE stuff. That, you know, a lot of them get stat increases. Mon here gets Killer Drain Blade, and I think that's going to be a very useful move for his survivability. So yeah, definitely think it's worth sort of looking at these units and seeing how much you can strengthen them. So that's pretty much it. I'll leave it there. I'm talking like way too much. So guys, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. See ya.